Today I'm going to show you how to make the expanding pouch. It's very popular. So these, you're starting off with two main pieces of fabric which I've already put on interfacing halfway down, two pieces of lining. This is the piece for the end of the zip. These will be the little tabs that you pull down on the contrasting fabric. You need an 8-inch zip, and you need the contrasting sleeve that will wrap around your pouch. Okay, and that's interfaced as well. So we'll start off with the two pieces that I've already put interfacing halfway down. They're the main pieces. And take your ruler, and you're going to measure 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches across from the bottom. This is going to create your pouch base. It's a nice boxy bottom. So just mark a square. So again, 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches across. We sell these rulers at Deany Fabrics. They're 5-inch charm square rulers. Right, now take your lining pieces and make sure they're perfectly lying on top of each other, and lay these two main pieces on top. They're all the same size, so they'll line up nicely. It just means you cut them all in one go instead of one at a time. And just put a few clips in just to hold everything together. Just saves marking 4 pieces. Might as well just do the lot together. So you're just going to cut these squares out now. And like I say, this will create the boxy bottom. Just get rid of the scrap, keep the place neat. It's not like me, but hey ho. Right, now we need to separate these pieces now, and we'll take one of the outer pieces, and we're going to lay the zip across the top, but you want your zip facing the wrong way down. So exactly as I'm doing, line it up on the very top of your fabric and put one of the lining pieces, creating a sandwich, making sure everything is all lined up across the top. And if you pop a pin in, go underneath the teeth, and it saves you taking the pins out as you go in and risk any movement. So just all across the top. And you don't have to have the same colour lining as I have, you can have different lining. This is just my choice. So okay, so I'm going to go and stitch all the way across the top there. Right, that's that one done. And there's the zip, and that's how it should be lying. Okay, so the interfacing bit is the outer fabric, and that's exactly how it should be. So make sure yours looks like that. Now take the next piece and just lie it so it's face to face, if yours has got a print on it, and go to the top of the zip. Obviously the sides will line up, but the bottom won't now because you've got the measurement of the zip. And then take your lining piece and put that behind, so again creating a sandwich. And it's important to get the top all lined up and the sides lined up. Like so. And pop your pins in. It's a nice quick project this is, and you get something really good at the end. And it's good for people who are just beginning to start to use a machine. Right, there we go. So just double check everything, that you've got those two together before you sew in place. So I'll go away and I'll sew that. Right, there you go. That's that one done as well. So the zip's in, it's facing the right way, everything's as it should. So now you take your two lining pieces and bring them together, and the two main pieces and bring them together. Just make sure they're all square. It's important you take the time, and then we're going to sew, well, we'll pin across or peg across, hold it all in place. It's important to spend a few minutes making sure everything's lined up. And we're going to stitch across there and down there and across the bottom, but we're not going to do, we're going to do the same with the lining, but we're not going to be doing the cutouts. Right, there you go. I've left a gap, 2-inch gap, which I should have mentioned before. But now we're just going to bring these seams together. Can you see? Match them up, and you can either open the seams or you can just flip one way and one the other, so they're not lie nice and flat. That's the way I prefer. And just pop a peg in and then stitch across there. And you're going to do exactly the same the other side. Flatten them seams, pop a peg in and stitch across there, and then do exactly the same with the lining pieces. So just bring those seams together, flip it across, pop a peg in. And you have to leave your zip open a little bit as well as leaving a gap. Right, I'll go and stitch those up now, all 4 pieces. And there we go, all done. So there's my gap I've left to turn. It's a very small gap. I should have really left a bigger one, so note to self, leave a bigger one. I mean, we'll get it through the hole, but it will be a struggle. Make sure you back stitch either end of that gap, otherwise while you're doing this it'll just rip it all open. Get my chopstick. See, if I'd have left a bigger gap, it'd have all been through now. Nearly there. So lots of beautiful fabrics at deanyfabrics.co.uk. If there's anything that you require and you can't see it on the website, you can always drop me a line, contact at Deany Fabrics, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Right, so we're all through in the hole. Now I haven't left the zip open enough, so I'll just have to manipulate that, find the end. So I should have left that open as well a little bit more, but hey ho, nearly done it. There we go. So now just push it through, the whole lot through the open zip, and everything will be the right way round, as it should be. There, look at them nice square bottom now. Just push out all them corners. Okay, that's that ready now. So we'll take the contrasting piece, and it will be folded in half like this, the longest way. Don't be tempted to do it like that because it won't work. Okay, and we're going to do the tabs that you pull down the sleeve with. So just take that bigger piece and just, we'll start off by cutting that in half. It's just going to be like bias binding, so we're just going to put the raw edges to the center, create a fold, and then fold over, and we're going to stitch just down one side and do exactly the same to the other one. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've sewn the hole closed that we used to turn it through, so that's all done now, ready. And I've done the two little tabs. Now that they're all done and sewn, it's just a matter of folding them in half. Now we take the contrasting piece and fold it so it's right sides together, and just stitch along with a 1/4 inch seam all the way to the edge. So there you go. So it's just like a sleeve. Okay, so just finger press that seam open, and then turn it in half. And get your seams and match those seams up together. We don't want any creases in this, so it's good to spend a couple of minutes and just making sure it's all straight before any stitching's done. Okay. That looks alright. So then you're going to fold in a 1/4 inch and get one of your tabs, just fold it in half like that, and just put it onto that seam, and then bring the other side, folding it again and matching it up. That'll be your first one in. So just pop a pin in there. Now you must remember that this what I'm doing now is the bottom part of the fabric, so if your fabric's facing the wrong way, then obviously flip the cuff around if it's directional fabric. So just go all the way around, just folding over a 1/4 inch seam, and then we want to get the other tab in so it's directly opposite the first one. Just pop it in there with the open ends. And pop a pin in. Okay, that's in the center, look. So we go all the way around and stitch it all in place. Right, there you go, I've done that. Stitched all the way around, and I've also stitched that end as well, although it isn't necessary. It's just I like to do it. It's nice and flat. I know it's flat, there's no twists in the fabric, but it will be stitched now in place, so like I say, it isn't necessary. If you don't want to do that job, you can skip that one. So make sure those tabs are pointing down and slide it onto your pouch. Okay, make sure it sits nice and that you've got the seam against one of the seams of the pouch, and then the pull tabs will be in the right place. So it's important to get that below the zip teeth, not too close to the zips. If you sew too close to that zip, you're going to struggle with it opening and shutting, so it's just below the teeth. So just bob a few pins in all the way around, and then you're going to stitch that in place. Now this is going to be for the zip end, so it's just like them tabs. You just fold the two raw edges into the center, finger press them down, but this time you fold the other ends up as well, because you're going to enclose the end of the zip. And just like that. And then what you're going to do is place your zip halfway through in the thing, make a fold, and then sew it all the way around like that. But my zip's going to be cut, it's too long, it's going to be cut to about there. I'm going to chop that much off, so my tab will be there. So there you go, I've sewn it all in place, and it's got the tab on it. And it's all finished and it's all neat, and how beautiful does that look? All it needs now is my ever-growing tub of Sharpie pens. I'm big into Sharpie pens. I've got loads of them, so it'd be nice to clear this box. I'll sort it all out after, but I'll just put a few of these in just to show you how it all goes. But wouldn't that make a nice gift if you brought some Sharpie pens and filled it and made a pouch? And I'll sort this all out after, but it holds loads, as you can see, look, and that's just the small pouch. There we go. Now all you do is pull that down, look, and everything is there for you to see. And then when you're not in use, just shake it all down and do the zip up. Look at that, perfect. So when you want to use them, open the zip, pull the tabs, and you've got everything, all the colours, easy to get. Shake it down. Hope you enjoy making it, and speak to you again soon.